Well, at a time like this, resources like personal protective gear, medical equipment, and medical staff are things you just can't have enough of. Our Sydney Stallworth has the latest.
We have one staff positive, and we've got a few of our employees who tested positive from outside contact, and they're sitting on the sidelines waiting for their 14 days to be up.
Dr. Hudson tells us those other employees who are isolated are not allowed to work because they've recently traveled to high-risk areas. HIMSI has employees under 14-day isolation as well after being exposed to positive cases.
We've got currently 4 who are currently on maybe day 9 or 10 of their 14-day isolation.
Officials say not long from now, we'll see a spike in the numbers.
About 2 weeks from now.
Dr. Hudson says Crestwood is checking 3 crucial things to prepare for the surge: bed capacity, supplies, and especially staff.
If we have one exposure inadvertently, that can take out and sideline 10 to 50, maybe even 100 healthcare workers.
HIMSI says they're not reducing their staff numbers, but they are making some other changes.
If you call 911, they're going to ask you some questions that we didn't ask before all this started. We're going to ask some questions about if you have a fever, if you have symptoms.
Responders are taking extra steps on the scene as well.
They may stop before they arrive at your front door to put on some protective equipment. It might be a gown or a mask.
And PPE is more valuable now than ever.
Our supply of PPE, while stable now, I've learned that in a time like this, we can never have enough.
Local businesses are stepping in to help, but health officials say it comes down to the commitment of citizens.
We need you to stay home for us.
Putting the Valley first, Sydney Stallworth, WZDX News.